Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Our today's topic is for class first year, and the topic is the poem The World is Too Much with Us by William Wordsworth. Let's see the poem. The world is too much with us. The world is too much with us. Let and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our parts. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. This sea that bears her bosom to the moon. The winds that were will be howling all at all hours, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I would rather be a pagan suckled in a creed outworn. So might I, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn, have sight of Brutus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton below his wreathed horn. Okay, what is the meaning of the title of the poem, The World is Too Much with Us? The title of the poem is ironical. It's a satire on the present time of the society of Wordsworth. The title of the poem suggests that humans are very much indulged with this materialistic world and ignore the real beauty of the world, of the nature. That's why it's called that we are too much with, the world is too much with us, and the world too much with us is the materialistic world, the industrial world to which Wordsworth refers. This poem, The World is Too Much with Us, is originally composed in 1802, but it's published in 1807. So the author, the poet, is William Wordsworth, and its original language is English. Okay, what about this poem? What is the background of the poem? Why the poet wrote this poem? As Wordsworth belonged to the Romanticism, the Romantic school of poetry, so that's why his subject matter is the nature, the love with nature, the Romanticism with nature. So the world is too much with us is a sonnet. Sonnet is a 14-line poetry by the English Romantic poet William Wordsworth. In it, Wordsworth criticizes the world of the first industrial revolution for being absorbed in materialism and distancing itself from nature. As I told you that this is an irony, or this is a satire at the present time of the society of William Wordsworth, that in 1802 it was the time of industrial revolution. So industrial revolution just emerged. That's why the poet wrote about that phenomena of emerging of industrial revolution, that how the people were indulged in their jobs, how they were indulged in innumerable financial obligations, and how these all obligations controls their lives for the unhealthy degree, and they were always rushing from one thing to the next. So they earn money on a day just to spend it the next. So the result of this was that they destroyed the vital part of their humanity, and they did not enjoy the nature, but they were just indulged in the materialistic gains. Okay, how is the tone of the poem? Now the poet thinks about that we have given our hearts away, and eventually exclaims, the poet thought that they have given away their hearts. So they are not thinking of about their hearts, but they just felt about their minds, and they obey their minds. So the tone of the poem is elegiac. Elegiac is a mournful tone in which someone is lament over any condition or any person. So this is the poem mourning. The elegiac poem is mourning on a dead. So what is dead here? The nature is dead here, and the industrial revolution got place of this nature. And near the end, the Shakespeare tells us that he is forlorn, depressed at what he sees, and would rather be a pagan so that he would feel so sad. In these lines, in the line of the poetry, the Wordsworth wished about that he expects the society to be very natural, but when the society changes from the natural towards the materialistic, so he lament over all those disposition of the present society, and he just forlorn, he was depressed, he was alone, and he wished that he might be the part of the past, because in the past the nature got very much importance, and these industrialization or materialism were not the part of the past life. So the tone is a mourning or elegiac tone that he laments over the present condition of the society. Okay, all of you know that for increasing the value of a poetry, for giving it more meaningful, the figurative language is always used. So figurative language is beautifully used in this poetry. First of all, the personification. Personification is attribute, human characteristic to non-human or even inanimate objects. When someone humanly qualities is attributed to the unhumanly objects, that is called personification. The poet has used personification at several places in the poem, such as sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and sleeping flowers. All these expressions make nature possesses human-like qualities like yearning for love, sleeping, and soothing. So these lines, when we will go for the explanation of these lines, you will see that what these deeply means. But I am giving you a glimpse of these lines, that what does this mean. So in the first personification, sea that bears her bosom to the moon. When the sea is catching the moonlight, so how it beautifully appears, its opening is heart for the moonlight, so it's the feeling of love that is only attributed to the human beings, but here the poet attributes this quality to the sea as well. The winds that will be howling at all hours. All the time the howling is a quality of the animals, but here the winds are howling all the hours, so this also is a personification. And the sleeping flowers, the flowers cannot sleep, but the sleeping flowers, the sleeping is also a quality of a human being, so it's attributed here with the flowers. That's why it's also an personification, it's also the personification. Okay, allusion. What is allusion? Allusion is indirect or direct reference to the person, place, thing, or idea of a historical, cultural, political, or literary significance. When something is quoted as an example from the past experiences, that is called allusion. So in this poem contains the allusion of Greek mythology. In Greek mythology there were gods and goddesses, so the poet uses these Plutus and Triton here. Those were the gods of and goddesses, those were the gods and goddesses, so he is using he's using the Plutus is a god of good fortune. That's why he is using these examples here from the Greek mythology, so these are called allusions. Imagery. The use of imagery makes the readers visualize the writer's feelings, emotions, or ideas. The imagery is that in imagery, when the readers visualize something by using their own senses or their own emotions or their ideas, for using their own five senses, when you can visualize something, that is, or you can imagine about something by using all your senses, that is imagery. So Wordsworth has used images appealing to the sense of hearing, such as winds that will be howling, to the sense of touch as sleeping flowers, and to the sense of sight as Plutus writing from the sea. So all the five senses are using here in this imagery. Similes is a device used to compare something another thing to let the readers know what is it. That is a direct comparison by using the words likes and like and as. So there are only one simile used in the line 7 of the poem and are upgathered now like sleeping flower. So like sleeping flowers is a direct comparison. So the poet has linked the howling of the wind with the sleeping flower by using simile. Metaphor. There are two metaphors used in this poem. One of the metaphors in this, the 10th line, suckled in Crete outward, and here Crete represents mother that nurses her child. So suckle metaphor is an indirect comparison, the unlike sort of a comparison. Suckled in Crete born, here Crete represents mother that nurses her child. So these lines mean suckle at a Crete outward. Outward is a tired, the gone out thing. So The here creed represents mother that nurses her child. So suckle in a creed out one is when the mother stop nursed the children when the men are not going in the bosom of the nature. So it's mean that suckle in a creed out one, that is used as metaphor. Okay, dear student, what is the message of the poem? In the world too much with us gives us a message that we are always rushing. All of you know that we are always rushing from one thing to the next. We earn money day by day to just spend it the next, and the rest of the what is what we have destroyed a vital part of our humanity, and we have lost the ability to connect with, find a tranquility with nature. And in exchange of all this, with the material gain, we have given away our emotions and liveliness. And this ocean of material prosperity reflects the moonlight on its surface, and the peaceful, momentarily windless nights were gone away now, and we all are living a very materialistic life in this time of the society. So the message we can perceive from this poem, or the message that poets want to give us, is that in this poem, the world is too much with us. Wordsworth laments the way in which modern day commercial society has eaten away all men's soul, that we all are not happy, we are not going with our souls, and we don't have any tranquility inside ourselves, but we are turning himself into little more than a consumer of goods, obsessed with getting and spending. We are just getting things, and then we earning things, and we spending things, and we all are rushing towards all these trends, and we are following these trends. So we have become the part of this society where we just look at the material prosperity and not into our soul. Yet modern man, so the final message, what can we get with this? Yet modern man has become out of tune with nature. Now we don't have any concern with the nature. We do not hear the nature. We don't want to go to the nature. So the Wordsworth is keen for him to re-establish that broken connection. Through this poem, the poet wanted to reconnect the human being with the nature and to revitalize his corrupted soul, even if it means adopting a kind of pagan mindset. A pagan mindset, when they were the pagan mindset, basically the pagan is a person who worshipped many gods and goddesses, but the pagan mindset here means that he want to live in the old times. So the old times were very good times. Those times were very natural and true and pure time. So he wanted to go back, and he provokes all the human beings to adopt the nature and to listen to their soul and to follow their soul, rather than to just go for the material prosperity of the society and to indulge in industrial revolution or industrialization or the worldly gains and prosperity of the world. Thank you so much.